Hey, Dustin, what I did was I bought a 3D model of a 1967 Camaro, and then I used different portions of the geometry of the Camaro, like the hood. This particular part matches up to the hood, like right in here. Um, and then in the back of it matches up to the back of the car. I twisted it at a bit of an angle, so it's hard to tell, but that's the exact same curve as just below the bumper. So I used those two pieces of geometry to create the shape that I wanted, and then I used the back window to create the hole in the spoiler. So that's a mirror image of the back window. Um, this is just sort of a first draft. I like it. I'm not sure if it would be better to close the side of this in or maybe to fill in some of this gap in here. There is some logic to leaving it in this funky opening because I think that like a golf ball flying through the air, the air travels over the turbulence that it creates as opposed to the surface of the ball itself. I think that if you put a spoiler like this on a car, what's going to happen is the air is going to travel in here, get trapped, and then the rest of the air is going to flow over here. Um, I believe I actually have the power to do a fluid dynamics simulation in this software. So if that's something that you want me to look into, I can do that. Um, Obviously, we can do anything you want, really. Smaller, bigger, totally different. Color it in, add a fin, taper it, curve it. I think the way that I would make it is that I would 3D print this out of plastic, glue a bunch of sections together, fit it to your car. That means little gaps that I don't really like in the model. Actually, I'm okay with that gap, I think. But up here, I didn't like the fitment on this fender up here, right? So I only have so much ability to follow these complex shapes, and it fits nice and tight down here where I sectioned it. I sectioned the whole car right here, and that's how I got this to fit. So um, I can section the car, but I don't want to section it like everywhere. So that leaves areas that are not going to fit too well. Um, what I would do is I would 3D print a version of this spoiler, and then I would come test fit it to the car, fill those gaps, sand them, grind them. Then the part would get painted gloss white. It would go to another friend that I have that has a real professional 3D scanner. That new hand fit part would get scanned back into the computer, and then that part would get 3D printed out of a dissolvable material that we could wrap in carbon fiber, and then uh, vacuum, bake, drill a hole in it, put some water in there, dissolve the 3D printed part out, and you'd be left with a hollow carbon fiber or fiberglass part. Otherwise, I would stop at the painted white stage and just use that as my test fit part if we made it out of aluminum or steel. Um, so yeah, let me know what you think. If you want it smaller, you want it to just fit on the trunk, you want something more like the original one. The original spoiler came with the model. So I have that to work off of as well. If you're like, I just want something like the original one, but I want it a little taller, whatever. I can use that as a starting point as well. So let me know what you think. Thank you.